The Queen is a figure of perennial influence and perennial presence on the world stage.
We live in the country where there are a lot of chiefs, and we know that they do have power, moral power. And the Queen had loads and loads and loads of it.
Starting at her home in Windsor Castle, I'll show how she was at the centre of major world events.
This was, after all, the first official royal visit in a century.
She used her diplomatic skill to save the Commonwealth.
She's a master.
That's The Royal Diplomat, with me, Emma Barnett, after the news.
BBC News. Hello, this is Jerry Smith. Russian troops have been advancing and consolidating their positions in Severodonetsk, the last major city in the Luhansk region still in Ukrainian hands. The local governor says the invaders have also carried on with the relentless bombardment of the city. Joe Inwood is in Kiev.
It looks like the Ukrainians are going to try and withdraw. We don't have perfect information. All telecommunications are cut off to the city. But according to Sergei Hadai, the regional governor, the Ukrainians have mostly pulled back. The Russians have taken most of the city now. What we don't know is whether they're going to try and hold their ground. Now, in Mariupol, the fight on the south coast, the Ukrainians held on for 80 days. It may be that the Ukrainians decide this time that defending it to the last man is not worth it. They try and withdraw and establish a new defensive position across the river in the town of Lysychansk.
Germany says it's promised to send a state-of-the-art air defence system to Ukraine. Chancellor Olaf Scholz told Parliament the RST system was capable of defending an entire city against Russian airstrikes. Mr. Scholz said Germany would also be delivering a radar system capable of locating artillery positions. A semblance of normal life is returning to the 25 million residents of Shanghai, China's most populous city. It follows the easing of lockdown restrictions after 9 weeks. Robin Brandt is there.
Things are changing today, and the speed at which they're changing is mind-boggling, actually. And today, June the 1st, people are able to drive private cars on the roads. There's a basic public transport service. Shops are beginning to open. You can get a haircut. You can get takeaway food from a restaurant. But there are over 500,000 people in this city who are still confined to their homes. They live in areas that are classified as restricted or sealed off. But most importantly, getting around this city now depends on 3 things: a green code on your smartphone, having a PCR test, a negative, valid for the last 72 hours, and of course, wearing a mask.
Water restrictions have been tightened for millions of people living in the US state of California, which has experienced its driest start to the year on record. Those in the south of the state face stricter limits on watering their gardens. California is facing its worst drought in centuries, and reservoir levels are at record lows. Thousands of hectares in the state's Central Valley, which produces more than 2/3 of America's fruit, are lying idle, unable to be irrigated. Bill Diedrich is a farmer there.
It doesn't get much more serious for the people on the ground that are living it, and we are afraid that the grocery store shelves are going to see it in the coming year, because the products that we grow this year you see on the shelf next year. Our President Biden, he said we're looking at food shortages in the United States.
You're listening to the latest world news from the BBC. Israeli soldiers say they've shot dead a Palestinian woman who approached them holding a knife in the occupied West Bank. The Israeli military said the woman tried to stab the soldiers near the Al Arub refugee camp north of the city of Hebron. None of the soldiers were injured. The first commercial flight from the Yemeni capital Sana'a to Cairo since 2016 has taken off. 77 passengers were on board the Yemeni plane, which will make the return trip later today. It's the second commercial route to be opened up from Sana'a during a 2-month truce. Sebastian Nasher reports.
First for Jordanian capital Amman, now Cairo, links to the outside world from Sana'a International Airport are slowly being re-established. No commercial flight had taken place from the Yemeni capital for almost 6 years, since the Saudi-led coalition fighting Houthi rebels who hold Sana'a had imposed restrictions on Yemen's airspace.
penalty from the police for breaking the COVID lockdown rules. And he criticised the Prime Minister for not having clarified whether he thought this was the case. Now, Boris Johnson wrote back to Lord Geidt, and I understand they also had a phone call yesterday in which Lord Geidt was pretty angry about this. Boris Johnson says that in his view, because he didn't intend to break the law, he did so unwittingly. In his view, he doesn't believe it is a breach of the code, but it's certainly been reported that Lord Geidt was on the brink of resigning, although we understand this morning that he is not intending to do that. So at a time when the Prime Minister's integrity has been called into question, this latest spat with his ethics advisor, and don't forget this is his second ethics advisor, the first one has already resigned some months ago, perhaps won't help his cause. So as we head into the Jubilee weekend, which would normally be a quiet time in politics, I think Downing Street are braced for there being more MPs coming forward. Whether they get as far as meeting the threshold is unclear, and of course there's still a strong possibility the Prime Minister would survive a no confidence vote.
Now, families up and down the country have been looking forward to a half-term holiday, but have instead been hit with long queues, delays and cancellations. British Airways, EasyJet and TUI have all cancelled flights, and we have seen chaos at airports across the UK and Ireland. The government's blaming airlines and operators for overbooking and underpreparing. Speaking to Sky News this morning, the Deputy Prime Minister Dominic Raab said the industry had failed to take the government's advice to ramp up recruitment.
There's clearly been a lack of preparation for that surge back of demand of holidaymakers. And Grant Shapps has been talking, the Transport Secretary, has been talking to the industry for months now, saying that this will come and that you need to make sure you've got your recruitment in place. So I know that there's a bit of finger pointing going on at the moment, but that's the support.
Well, let's have a look now at the latest number of cancelled flights from the major airlines today. British Airways have cancelled at least 124 short-haul flights at Heathrow today, although they have said passengers were given advance notice of that. TUI have cancelled 6 flights today in advance, which has affected 1,000 customers. They're expecting to fly about 27,000 people in total today. EasyJet cancelled at least 31 flights from Gatwick, including to destinations like Barcelona, Prague and Krakow. The problems are industry-wide. Our Ireland correspondent Stephen Murphy is at Dublin Airport. Morning, Stephen. How's it going there?
A lot better than the weekend anyway. I mean, you can probably see behind me a lot of these empty lanes, these crash barriers that are set up. We have a bit of a pattern at the moment, so people are really nervous about missing the early flights, the first wave of departure flights. That's between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. approximately. So people show up here at about 3 or 4 in the morning, and these barriers are full. It's people queue to get in because they don't trust the estimated times given out by the airport. Then by about 7 o'clock it sort of dissipates a bit and we're into the terminal building. We've been in there all morning and things are moving. They're slow and they're busy compared to pre-pandemic times, certainly here at Dublin Airport, but they're nothing like the scenes that we saw here over the weekend when 1,400 people weren't able to board their flights. It was a fiasco here. And just like in the UK, it's led to a lot of political pressure. The chief executive of Dublin Airport will be up in front of a parliamentary transport committee a bit later on. He's expected to give answers about how they're going to try and avoid a repeat of Sunday scenes this weekend. It's a bank holiday here in Ireland as well. We've seen plenty of disruption, a similar pattern at places like Manchester, Gatwick and Bristol. Manchester was very busy this morning as well. Plenty of disgruntled passengers taking to social media to complain about the amount of time it took at the backdrop queues before they even got to security. Here's a flavour of what some of the travellers at Manchester told us yesterday morning.
After we queued up for so long, we saw the screen again and it said cancelled. We went and asked one of the TUI operators and they just said, yes, it's the old holiday's cancelled. That's all we knew about it, and we're still in the dark now. We don't know why.
TUI asked us to come 4 hours before, which is an hour longer than usual, and we've just been stood in a queue for an extra hour. There was no check-in staff to check us in.
You know what, it's not good when you're waiting that long, is it? When you're getting told to come 4 hours and they haven't got the test on, that's appalling, that.
It's all down to staffing, really. Airports like here in Dublin, for example, let go 1,000 staff over the pandemic when this place was a ghost town. Nobody was flying at all. But passengers will tell you, and certainly the unions will tell you, and many of the politicians will also tell you, that the airport simply didn't give enough time to recruiting and to preparing for the recovery, this surge in travellers that we've seen. Here at Dublin Airport, they're approaching 100% of pre-pandemic figures. So we're basically back to 2019 passenger numbers, and that was a boom year here in Dublin, but they only have about 70% of available staff. So we're going to see frantic efforts to try and address that situation here in Dublin and at airports across the UK as well, ahead of the bank holiday weekend.
Stephen, thank you. Now, the Queen has returned to Windsor Castle before the start of a long weekend of celebrations for her Platinum Jubilee. Those celebrations are not officially underway yet, but some fans have already set up camp outside Buckingham Palace. Those dedicated royal watchers had to brave some traditional British weather, but that did little to dampen spirits, as Ashna Hurinag now reports.
A front row seat at the Platinum Jubilee will cost you a sturdy tent, some bunting and a lot of patience, especially as it doesn't start for another 2 days.
This is dedication. No, this is love.
Royal superfan Mary Jane has plenty of it. She came up from Cornwall to secure her spot and says this 70-year anniversary is not to be missed.
She served us. She's given her life to us for 70 years. This is thank you.
Donna agrees this will be worth the journey from Connecticut. Her dedication to the monarchy has gained her fans of her own. As someone who's been to every royal occasion, she's come prepared.
I brought the tent, I brought the camp chair, I brought space blankets, sleeping bag, air mattresses, tarps, winter coat, boots, hat, gloves, mittens, the works.
From Cornwall to Connecticut and Canada, their commitment can't be faulted.
The respect for the royal family has gone generationally, so it started with her grandmother to her kids, and my daughter has 2 corgis named Markle and Middleton.
Shielded from their view for now are the final preparations for Saturday's party in the palace, which promises to be a star-studded affair. Earlier, the Queen's Gold State coach, not seen in public for 20 years, paraded through Westminster in a final rehearsal for Sunday's pageant. Marching alongside it, service personnel from the armed forces, carefully preparing for a procession steeped in rich tradition and history.
If you're a tourist in London at the moment hoping to catch a glimpse of Buckingham Palace, then this is just about as close as you're going to get, because much of the surrounding areas have already been cordoned off. But the sense of anticipation is building. Pageant and parade rehearsals and soundcheck at the concert stage behind me, and Jubilee-themed food and drink flying off supermarket shelves.
As for the person at the centre of it all, the Queen is now back at Windsor Castle after spending a few days resting at Balmoral. She'll soon make her way to the palace along with thousands of others who are expected to line the streets leading up to the royal residence. Some are more prepared than others for this one-of-a-kind celebration. All they need to do now is stay dry. Ashna Hurinag, Sky News in central London.
Let's talk to Sky's Saba Chowdhury, who's on the Mall now in central London. And Saba, let me have a look. Yes, I believe you have the Queen with you.
I have indeed. We have the royal blessing this morning. I'm here at the Mall just outside Buckingham Palace, where royal fans have been camping out since as early as Monday to bag the best spots for the Jubilee celebrations, which of course will be marking 70 years on the crown, an incredible achievement. I'm actually joined now by one of those super fans. John Larry, thank you so much for joining me. Now, you've been going out and camping at events for the past 25 years, which is incredible. Tell me a bit about your commitment to the crown.
Well, first of all, the Queen is the crown jewels, and I was confirmed at Westminster Abbey in 2017 by the Reverend Dr. John Hall.
So you converted to the Church of England. That was influenced by the royal family?
Yes, it was, and I did it for the crown, and I did it for Her Majesty the Queen.
And you mentioned to me earlier that as a young man, you would watch the Queen on television, and when the national anthem would be sung, you would stand up from your home. Is that right?
That's right. I did it since a little boy. I used to stand up, and at assembly school, after prayers, morning prayers, I used to stand up and match the Queen national anthem. And then, of course, when I used to watch TV and it used to come to an end at 12 o'clock, I used to always stand up.
And how much does the Queen mean to you, John?
She's the crown jewels, and I'm loyal to the crown, and God save the Queen.
Brilliant, John. Thank you so much for your time and good luck with the camping. Now, one of the events that John will be attending, he said to me he's looking forward to the most is the trooping of the colour, the military parade, which will be happening tomorrow morning. 18 of the working royals will be in attendance on that balcony. That's not including the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. And another event that I'm particularly looking forward to is the party at the palace. There have been rehearsals going on behind us today and also yesterday, John was telling me. Now, it's not confirmed which of these events Her Majesty the Queen will be attending given her recent mobility issues, but one thing's for sure, it's going to be quite the weekend. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm clearly not the only one.
Clearly. We hope you stay dry this morning anyway, Saba. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Well, sailors from the Royal Navy have literally spelled out a Jubilee message to the Queen on the flight deck of the aircraft carrier HMS Queen Elizabeth. More than 300 sailors, which is nearly half the crew of the Navy's flagship, stood in bracing winds to form the tribute, spelling out the monarch's royal cipher while off the south coast of England. Well, Her Majesty the Queen is the first British monarch to celebrate a Platinum Jubilee, marking 70 years of service. Let's see what's happening over the next 4 days. Kicking things off tomorrow morning, as Saba was saying, the Irish Guards and more than 1,200 members of the Household Division will take part in the Queen's birthday parade. It's also known as Trooping the Colour, the event that marks the official birthday of the British sovereign. The Queen and other working members of the royal family will then appear on the balcony of Buckingham Palace to watch a special flypast. Later that day, 2,000 towns, villages and cities across the UK, as well as each of the capital cities of the Commonwealth, will light a beacon to mark the Jubilee. On Friday, a national service of thanksgiving will take place at St Paul's Cathedral in central London. It's not yet known whether the Queen will attend the Derby at Epsom Downs. That's on Saturday morning. But other members of the royal family are expected to be there. Thousands will attend a special concert at Buckingham Palace in the evening. And on Sunday, millions will take part in a big Jubilee lunch. People across the UK will sit down to share food in their street. And finally, the Platinum Jubilee pageant, an event that will see thousands of performers make their way down the Mall in central London. It will be the first time the Gold State coach will be seen on the streets of London for 20 years. And don't forget, obviously you can see full coverage of the Platinum Jubilee celebrations right here on Sky News, starting from tomorrow. Well, some of today's other news now, and Mike Ashley's Frasers Group has revealed it has bought Misguided out of administration for £20 million. It comes after the online fashion retailer collapsed on Monday after suppliers accused it of having millions of pounds worth of outstanding payments. Frasers says it will continue to run the business as a standalone brand. China's largest city of Shanghai has ended its 2-month lockdown. The announcement was made by a government representative there who, according to local media, said the city was embracing a new start and that its daily briefing on the coronavirus would no longer take place. However, more than 500,000 people in the city won't be allowed out just yet because they live in control zones, which are near recent cases. The people of Bradford are celebrating, as you can see. It's been named the UK City of Culture for 2025. The city beat fellow finalists County Durham, Southampton and Wrexham. This is Sky News Today. Coming up, Ukraine's football team returns to international competition this evening for a World Cup playoff in Glasgow.
I'm David Blevins, and I'm Sky's senior Ireland correspondent. Politically, the two sides are as far apart as ever, and it's over that question of who has sovereignty in Northern Ireland, the very issue that's been the source of tension here for generations. It was just a handshake between two men in their 60s, but it's earned each of them a place in history. I've spent 25 years reporting the journey from conflict to peace.
The political parties of Northern Ireland have reached agreement.
We help you understand the world with us. If there's anyone who might know how to fix Northern Ireland's devolved government, it's the American architect that we've come to New York to talk to him.
Changes in circumstance require changes in approach.
If we both contract COVID-19 and end up in hospital, religion's nothing.
It's a virtually invisible line, but this is the place where plans for a speedy Brexit came to a shuddering halt. Welcome to the Northern Irish border. What would you cook for the Brexit negotiators?
Something fairly continental.
You can't live in a place like this and not appreciate the environment.
Scotland and Ukraine are set for an emotional clash when they meet at Hampden Park for tonight's World Cup playoff in Glasgow. The delayed playoff match will be Ukraine's first since Russia invaded the country in February. Whoever wins will go on to compete with Wales for a place in the tournament later this year. Sky's James Matthews reports.
They arrived in Scotland truly the team like no other. Ukrainian football players excused the front line in the pursuit of sporting success.
All Ukraine who has this opportunity is going to watch us, and we're going to feel this support. That's 100%. So, and like I said already many times, to be fair, you know, we can speak a lot, but we need to do on the pitch. So that's what we're going to try to do.
The Ukrainian squad came here via training camp in Slovenia. In a country where males their age aren't allowed to leave, domestic players were given a pass at the start of this month. In the past few days, they've been joined by their big names playing abroad. Scots have voiced their support for Ukraine since the Russian invasion. For their nation, bidding to qualify for a World Cup for the first time in 24 years, tonight it's difficult, but it's football.
The Ukrainians have decided that they want to play, they want to try and give their country a lift by their football team performing well. They want to go to the World Cup. But it's a game of football. We want to go to the World Cup too. We've waited a long time to be in this position. The players, our players, the Scottish players are desperate to go to Qatar 2022.
This is the Ukrainian consulate in Edinburgh city centre, and this is a street unofficially named after Ukraine's president. There's no doubting the sympathy in Scotland for the plight of Ukraine and its people. Whoever wins tonight has a playoff against Wales in Cardiff on Sunday. There is a lot riding on this game, though everything is relative. James Matthews, Sky News, Edinburgh.
Time for a quick look at the weather.
Warm memories wherever you go. The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
The Jubilee weekend will be fine and warm for many, but there will still be showers around, mainly in the south. Before then, it'll be quite cool again today, although a bit warmer than it was yesterday. Southern Scotland and northern central and eastern England will see plenty of slow-moving showers this afternoon. Heavy and thundery in the east at times, but it will turn mostly fine by the evening. Most other places will be dry with increasing amounts of sunshine, but the odd early shower can't be ruled out. Any lingering showers will die out overnight, leaving most places dry and clear, but the far northwest of Ireland will see patchy rain later. It'll become chilly in the countryside with mist and fog patches forming, especially in eastern England. Britain will be mostly dry and quite sunny on Thursday, but there will be a few showers mainly in the north and west. Ireland and Northern Ireland, meanwhile, will see cloud and outbreaks of rain spreading from the west. It's going to be warmer for most. Friday will bring showers to the west.
The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
As the cost of living crisis worsens, new figures show that shop prices grew at the fastest rate in more than a decade during May. It means many are struggling to feed themselves and rely on the donations of others. In our third and final report from Plymouth this week, Sky's Dan Whitehead has been speaking to those working on the front line of a growing food crisis.
This is not a normal food bank. 12 weeks ago, Reverend Michael Shaw saw there was a problem brewing in his Plymouth community. His answer: to set up a food club. Members pay £1 to join and £2 to fill a bag. He says it gives them dignity when they're facing the toughest of choices.
I'm not proud of this. I don't want to be. I'm a church minister. My job is to sort of, help people with spiritual needs. However, for me, it's also there's a requirement to feed people where they are hungry. And I don't really want to be doing this, but this is what's needed by the community. Hello, you right? Go for it.
For Mum of 4B, this food club is a lifeline.
It just helps with the cost of living at the minute and everything's adding up. When you go to the shops and get what you need, you've not got money for treats or anything like this, and what these days you get the odd little treat and that for the kids. So yeah, you're not left with anything once the gas and electric. Oh my goodness, it's so high. So yeah, this helps.
Nearly a fifth of Plymouth's adult population is over-indebted, meaning they find keeping up with bills a heavy burden.
We hear increasingly how food clubs like this one are becoming an essential part of how people are surviving. And that's meaning that organisers in Plymouth are having to completely rethink the entire way that they deal with the increased demand.
On the outskirts of Plymouth, the daily food delivery has just arrived. The ARC, Aid Redistribution Centre, deals with supermarket donations before sending them out to around 35 food banks and charities.
The demand certainly isn't slowing, is it?
No, it's not. And every week I'm being asked by a new group whether we can support them.
Every week?
Every week, yeah.
Much of the food has reached its sell-by date, but John is worried that increasing costs for us all could hit donations.
My experience of the people of Plymouth is they're extremely generous. We've seen that time and time again. But obviously, if budgets are being squeezed, people who may have historically been donating into boxes in supermarkets may then be having to decide, well, I can't afford to do this.
The community in Plymouth, like so many places across the country, is responding. And while the government's latest package of help is welcome, it's these volunteers who are providing instant help to a growing number of people. Dan Whitehead, Sky News in Plymouth.
You're watching Sky News Today. Coming up, on the front line in Severodonetsk as the battle for control of the Donbass region of Ukraine intensifies.
SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email and phone number. That's it, you're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out.
He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of digging the hole of darkness.
So what did that?
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie, and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and The Morning Show.
Nothing and anything between nothing. Yeah. Come on now, guys. Come on. Are you ready? Oh yeah. I want to change it a little bit. All right. I don't know how to, but I know how to groan in the spirit, but not with my legs. All right. Come on. Come on. Ah yeah. I see you.
Okay, who thought that would be in June, the first day of June? Some way, somehow, not because you are so witty or very knowledgeable or you got everything, that because of that, it just took the grace of God. You know, we all slept. Some people didn't wake up, not because they are so righteous or they are so sinful. No. It just takes the mercies of God. And therefore, if you are alive this morning, I know that it took the mercy of God for me to be alive and to be here the first day of June, the 6th month of the year 2022. My goodness, God is good. So I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. We want to salute you all and welcome you to the Wednesday edition of The Morning Show. I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
Well, let me say a special good morning to Alhaja Idiatu Mariana Fularin. Papa, good morning to you. I hope you are doing very, very well, sir, and having a very good day. Happy new month to you. Let me say good morning to my team this morning. Mr. Frank Davis, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, Kojo D, all working in the background. And to the one and only Mr. Francis Guy, our able producer, massive good morning to you all. And let me say good morning also to Felix all the way in Aberdeen, Mr. Kofi Ali Abdul Yakin, Mr. Malik Dramani Mahama, Mr. David Kluche, and all you wonderful people who tuned in. But let me take the opportunity once again to express my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you who celebrate with me in last Saturday, the 28th of May, the memorial service for my late dad, Reverend Anthony Hammond. I salute each and every one of you. Thank you for your presence and your present, and for your words of encouragement. My goodness, that is what it's made me. So I'm so grateful to each and every one of you. And once again, I say good morning, and a happy new month to you all. 10:40 the time. Wednesday edition of the morning show. You know, it finishes exactly at 12 o'clock. But let me tell you what is going to be happening between now and then. Well, the quote for the day will be coming your way, the weather forecast, the travel update as well. And then we'll look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe, known as Global Trotting. Then after that, we'll continue to look at some of the stories in other parts of the world. At 11:30, the lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussions. Then at 12 o'clock exactly, bring the first part of the program to a close, taking you to the House of Parliament. It's supposed to be Prime Minister's question time, but it will be taking you to Scotland, to Holyrood. Okay then. But share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Getting ready for the bank holiday. Celebrating the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. Now, what are your plans? Now, interestingly, those of us in the Southeast, I think the weather is going to be nice for us. There's not going to be sunshine, rain. Yeah, so I think all the street parties and the barbecues will be heading out. Okay, so you can share with us what you intend doing. Well. If you are standing, hold on to something. If you are sitting, sit up very comfortably. Belt up. Get yourself a hot or cold drink, whichever is appropriate. And let's take this journey from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar, where we bring you all the news that is making the headlines. Once again, welcome to the show. To all our listeners in the Americas, those of you in Europe, those of you in Asia, those of you in Australia, those of you on the African continent, especially those of you in Nigeria, Ghana, Uganda, Tiso Radio. Massive good morning to you all there, and to our Gambian listeners as well, to our South African listeners. Eben, Chantel, massive good morning to you all. Hope you are all doing good. Well, once again, welcome to the show, welcome to the show, welcome to the show. 10:43 the time, Starr Radio UK, the station, the morning show, the program. Okay, so the quote for today says, some things cause some people to be successful and some other things cause other people to fail. It all depends on your response or reaction to the things that happen to you. So it's a matter of seeing it either the glass half full or half empty, and how do you use it? Okay, that is my way of the quote for today. Let's crack on. Now, when it comes to the weather, as I did say, it's going to be quite a learning one, but I will try to capture everything that's going to happen today and over the weekend for you as well. And it's going to be a summary, don't you worry. Now, today, mostly cloudy with scattered showers, these possibly heavier times, and with the odd rumble of thunder. However, it will turn dry with sunny spells in the early evening. Now, this evening will be dry with late sunshine. Tonight, it will be dry and mostly clear with just a few bands of high cloud. The temperature is going to be 18 degrees, the lowest is going to be 9 degrees. Pollen level is going to be moderate, UV level moderate, pollution low. Sunset 21:08 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 04:49 hours. That brings us to the end of the weather forecast for today. But over the weekend, yes, tomorrow we'll be seeing it will be dry and fine day with plenty of sunshine throughout. There will be just a few patches of cloud around later in the afternoon, a milder day expected. Outlook for the rest of the weekend. Friday should be a fine and dry day with plenty of warm sunny sunshine around and just a few patches of cloud drifting in. Saturday looks to see variable cloud cover with a few heavy and thundery showers pushing in from the south in the afternoon. Cloudier on Sunday with spells of heavy rain and further risk of thunder. So in a gist, that's what's going to be happening over today and over the weekend. A long weekend. Okay. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. The time now is 10:45. We'll take a quick break and I'll bring you the travel update. Stay tuned, don't you go away. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Check it out. Keep your eyes on the road. Anything that you will never do. Keep your eyes on the road. Check it out. Check it out. This is Ghana, my people right here. Big shout out to all the people in Africa. Can you feel this?
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads, keep your eyes on the roads.
Starr Radio UK.
The Starr Radio UK travel update comes away every weekday from 10:40. It's now 10:46. What is happening on the travel this morning? Do you have anything to share with us? Not necessarily here in London, every part of the world, or wherever you are on the world, in the world. If there is any travel chaos there you want to share with us, do so. I promise to acknowledge you, and of course, you know what? We'll share it with our worldwide listeners. My apologies. Okay, so. Just bear with me whilst we try to raise that. Okay, so on the underground this morning, apart from the northern line that is suspended, partly suspended, no service between Camden Town and Edgware due to a signal failure. Things are being accepted on London buses. All the other underground lines are in good service. London Overground has got severe delays. Let me bring you details of that. Minor delays between Stratford and Richmond Clapham Junction due to an earlier customer ill on train. There are good service on the rest of the line though. DLR, London Tramlink, good service. Now keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. I'll keep you navigated. I promise I'm on. Now let's move on straight to the major roads in London. Let me tell you what is happening on the major roads in London. So what is going on there? Now the A4 and the Central London Red routes have got closures. That aside, North Circular A406 has got serious delays. But keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. I will keep you navigated. I promise. Our bond. Now moving on straight to the river bus this morning. Apart from the Woolwich Ferry, that is I've got a special service. All the others have got good service. But it is Starr Radio UK, your travel update that comes to every weekday from 10:40. 10:48 now. Now the final segment of the travel updates. Avanti West Coast has got special service and Thameslink, minor delays. So once again, let me say it. Well, for those of you who will be traveling by Emirates Airline, I can tell you assuredly that they are offering good service there. Okay, on that note, let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today, but you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK, the Wednesday edition of the morning show. It's now gone 8 minutes to the top of the hour, and it's time for Global Trotting. At 11 o'clock, we'll be bringing you updates from Nigeria. But now, let's go around the globe. Let me tell you what is happening from across the globe this morning. Okay. Yes. So, starting from Nigeria, where we'll be bringing you some updates from. Nigeria government is reluctant to end terrorism banditry. Governor Otum tells international community. Why is he saying that? We'll be bringing you more on that front as well. And fresh suit. I think some people don't want Atiku Abubakar to become the flag bearer of the PDP. Now, fresh suit seeks disqualification of Atiku from presidential race. I'll be bringing more on that. Well, some other story making the rounds there as well. Now, 2023 presidency honor rotational agreement. Shehu Sani to Buhari APC governors. Shehu Sani has made a statement there as well. A former Kaduna Central Senator has reacted to the outcome of the meeting between President Muhammad Buhari and governors of all the Progressive Congress, that is the APC. And I'll be bringing you more on that front. But those are some of the stories that we'll be looking at. All right then. Now moving on to some other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. In Ghana, well, it wasn't after a response from the IGP at all. British High Commissioner speaks out. Now the British High Commissioner tweeted that, well, the treatment of one person who was arrested. I'll be bringing more details about that. Vamo was not the right thing, or the way he was supposed to go to court. Now the police, he was arrested on his way to court because they said it's now road traffic offense, which he decided not to plead guilty to, and therefore that thing seems to be going on. But it looks like the IGP, when he took office in Ghana, was cracking the whip, doing something. So we thought, whoa, this is going to be one in a kind or one in a billion. But it's happened that now I don't know whether he's that image that he came with or that goodwill is actually waning off. Well, so he reacted to a tweet that the British High Commissioner posted, and actually there been lots of backlash from there. IGP UK diplomat saga Kwachofosu Kwekuaza dragged John Benjamin into the fray. Now we will be looking into that story. So do you think it was right for the IGP to react to that? And somebody saying that, well, our colonial masters now trying to also involve themselves in our internal affairs. Dampering response to British High Commissioner, misguided and regrettable. That is what the opposition NDC has said. Indom sues Republic Press for 1 million Ghana cedis over false GN Bank story. Those are some of the stories making the rounds there. It is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. As I've said, that has been the most covered story in Ghana today. The response by the IGP to a tweet by the British High Commissioner in Ghana. We'll be talking more about that. Now, we'll carry our weapons to June 4 demo. Captain Smart, Oketeche, Oliver Wright, Oliver Wright to police, Oliver Vamo, they are saying that, well, they have got guns, they're going to be carrying it. They've registered that to the police. Now, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be carrying it. So what are they expecting? Is it that during the, that's be the 4th, when it's going to be the 3 days time, in 3 days time, okay, that is on Saturday. So what is going to happen there? If the police there attacks them, or if there is they are just going for that celebration. Though Papa J is no more, well, his action at the time still matters. Okay, so what I don't want to see it as the opposition party trying to rear some ugly scenes there or what. Okay, now moving on to other parts of the world. Travel disruption continues as 150 flights are cancelled. So if you are making your plans to embark on a journey, please think it through. Now, airlines and operators have seriously oversold flights. Transport Secretary Grant Shapps have said. And then RAP plays down leadership challenge to Prime Minister. You know what is happening? It comes after Boris Johnson, standards advisor, accused the Prime Minister of undermining his role over party gate. So is it going to bring about a contest? And what is going to happen to the Prime Minister? Well, yesterday we had information coming through that the Prime Minister was reaching out to other MPs that in case there is a what do you call it? He has to be taken to the Parliament, or the Conservatives have to vote over his tenureship or anything of the sort. He was trying to get them on his side, but with what is happening, where his own standards advisor is accusing him of undermining his role in the party gate, then is it time for him to go? I want to know more about all that. It is all Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, other parts of the world as well. US agrees to send Ukraine longer range rockets. So I've been asking this question all this while this war has been going on. Are we teetering towards a third world war? And then the Ukraine, most of it has been destroyed. So is it not time? Why, if they wanted to do so, why didn't they send it from the word go? We have Germany who is saying that they are going to send them anti-aircraft, what is it, shield or missile that can protect a whole town or city, stuff like that. And I say, you had all that. Why didn't you give it to them from the word go, so that at least they will not be able, or they were scared. Now that they think that well, Russia can do whatever and they don't give a monkeys, now they think that they have to go in to do so. Well, US agrees to send the Ukrainians longer range rockets. The new weapon are part of a $700 million, that's 556 million pounds, aid package U.S. officials said will be unveiled today. Well, this is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. In reaction to that, Putin an outrage, but US not seeking to oust him. Biden is saying, well, what is going to happen? Well, they will leave it into the hands of the Ukrainians themselves to sort out themselves. But it's Starr Radio UK. Let's take a quick break. We'll be having Mr. Olayomi Koiki joining us in the next few minutes for updates from Nigeria. Stay tuned and don't you think of going away. Enjoy this song from Nana Manuel. He said, "It go happen, it go happen, it go happen."
Say it go happen, as God say it go do and if I no say it go happen, it go happen, it go happen. If I no say it go happen, as God say it go do and if I no say, everybody say it go happen, it go happen. Certainly, I say it go happen, as God say it go do and if I no say it go happen, it go happen, it go happen, it go happen. If I no say it go happen, yeah, I say it go do. Everybody, as God say it go do one, and if I don't say it go happen, it go happen, it go happen, certainly. If I don't say it go happen, yeah, as God say it go do one, and if I don't say it go happen. Some trust in horses, others trust in chariots, but we have your name, oh Lord.
The best radio show.
Lean not on your own understanding.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
I just trust in chariots, but we have your name, oh Lord. Have faith in God, lean not on your own understanding. One more time, hey. Have faith in God, lean not on your own understanding.
Well, Mr. Oluwatobi Oyabemi saying a happy belated birthday to you, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. That is from Nana Manuel Well, Eddie says it's going to happen. Somewhere, somehow, things do happen, don't they? Yes, they do. But it is a Wednesday edition of the morning show, and because we are pressed with time, we'll be going on whilst we wait for Olayomi Koiki to join in. But this evening, exactly at 18 hours BST, and that is 18 hours or 6 p.m. Nigeria time as well. Yes. It will be happening live. The Niger Voices, after a 2 weeks break, is going to be coming live. Is it 2 or 3 weeks? Yes, a few breaks there. It will be coming live, and Mr. Olayomi Koiki will be looking at some of the stories, the major story that is making the rounds in Nigeria. But question that I ask once again, is there going to be an election 2023? Is there? Okay, now let's move on straight to some of the stories whilst we wait for Mr. Olayomi Koiki to hop on. Now, why Buhari doesn't want Tinubu as president? That's what a story that Farouk has written. Now, where is Farouk? Now, media scholar Farouk Perogi has claimed that President Muhammad Buhari and his cabal in the All Progressive Congress fear that should a primary election be held, the chances that national leader of the ruling party, Bola Tinubu, will triumph are more likely than not. Now, information coming through says the public commentator also stated that in the event Tinubu emerges the APC flag bearer, the cabal will sabotage him in the general election. Now, Kperogi's claim are coming amid the request by President Muhammad Buhari to the governors to allow him choose his successor. There is no question that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the main character in the movie of the APC 2023 presidential politics. Others are mere pawns or supporting casts, Kperogi wrote in a recent piece. The postponement of the party's primaries, the crowding of the presidential primary field of play, and field of play. My apologies, it's eluded me. Okay. The postponement of the party's primaries, the crowding of the presidential primaries, field of play, the frenetic horse trading, the subterranean wheeler dealing, the consensus proposal, etc. in APC were all designed to keep Tinubu out of contention for the party's nomination. Now, several meetings convened to persuade Tinubu to consent to a consensus candidate for the party, which is the singular reason that the party instructed INEC to extend the deadline for primary elections didn't work. Then the party toyed with the idea of asking the screening committee, indicatively headed by his political enemy John Oyegun, to disqualify him on the grounds of previous false claims he'd made under oath. Now, no less that he attended the University of Chicago Government College in Ibadan. But as I said, we have Mr. Olayomi Koiki, who has joined in whilst we wait for him the video to load up. Now, let me just finish that story. The petition by one Mailiali Sagriwada to the screening committee was part of the plot. So, why is Buhari seeking for Tinubu, not wanting Tinubu to be the presidential candidate for the APC, but rather he will want the vice president, Osibanjo? Why? Okay, we'll be bringing you more on that front. But for now, I've got Mr. Olayomi Koiki, though he hasn't got his glasses. I hope that he can see and read. Yes, he's getting his glasses. Yes. And let me say good morning to you, Yomi.
Well, a very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers and everyone that have joined us so far on a Wednesday morning. I know we have a limited time, but there's always a lot to discuss in Nigeria. We're just about almost less than a minute, and then we can get the other platforms on, because we do want as many people to listen to Starr Radio UK, because it is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, and this is where you can get all the latest updates. As you say, will Buhari be the one to decide who will become the next president, rather than allow the process to take place? Because a lot of people are now saying that who is going to step down for who, but all that will be discussed. Let me come back again to you in the studio. But tonight, I will be coming to the studio. It's going to be a lot of conversation. It will be the topic of, is there going to be election as against without an election for those that are campaigning for self-determination? Remember, I told you while we were at right in front of the Nigerian High Commission, the Biafran said something that I will keep on to saying, that they said this will be their last time coming back to the Nigerian High Commission, because there will not be any more Nigeria for them. A lot is going to happen, but all these will be known and heard right here on Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Then I'll come back again to you in the studio. We're good to go now.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you. Now, how was the birthday yesterday? Because people are still wishing you a happy birthday. So yes, let the salutations come in. But how was it celebrated?
Well, you couldn't have give thanks to the Creator or the Almighty God, depending on which side. We all have different views, but one thing about African is we all appreciate who we are. I can only appreciate all our listeners, my viewers, our followers, friends, family. The whole world was almost completely shut down yesterday with different prayers, different messages, and those messages, as you said, are still ongoing, because I realize that more people are still wishing us the happy birthday or happy belated birthday. It was a very beautiful one, but most important thing is when I spoke yesterday, eventually to almost thousands and millions of people before I went to bed, I said I would dedicate that birthday to have the same reason that I have lived outside Nigeria for almost 2 decades. I left Nigeria in 1998, and the wish is, if only all African countries can have the same opportunity that we have here. You saw what happened when we were broadcasting at almost number 10 Downing Street, where the officer were asking questions. If that was Nigeria, if that was Ghana, if that was any part of Africa, I would probably be languishing somewhere in the jail. So I actually dedicated the birthday to those in Nigeria, especially those that now say we want to opt out of Nigeria because it hasn't worked for us in the last 61 years. Once again, it is Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Okay, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you. Let me say good morning to Terry Omo Alade. He said Eku Eto. Yes, Terry, I hope you're also doing very well. Good morning to you as well. Okay, Yomi, now let's come straight to one, because we are pressed with time already. First of all, as whether there's going to be a 2023 election is something else. Now, the APC, who were supposed to have gone to their Congress to select their presidential candidate, seem to have suspended it. It looks like the president wants the vice president to be, he wants the hand to select somebody to do that. I don't know whether when it comes to the constitution of the APC, that is how it is run, or he is looking at the bigger picture, thinking that if I bring somebody from the north, this time round again, or if I allow somebody from the north to win the ticket of the APC, we might have a problem in the country. So how do you read, or what do you read into that?
Well, I was actually following what you were saying. Farouk is a very high scholar, high well-educated someone from the northern part of Nigeria. And not just that, is also a very big critique of this government. And, as you just mentioned there, would Buhari allow a free primary to be conducted, or does he want to be the one to unpick somebody, as against, the process? I can say that already. Remember, we've been talking about this in February, when we've been reviewing, how the whole process is going to eventually complete when it comes to, who become the candidate. Tinubu is from the southwest. Amechi is from the southeast. Ahmed Lawan is literally from the north. And if care is not taken, it could be that maybe Buhari himself might be the one to create what a lot of Nigerians have been expecting. So he has to be very, very careful and allow that process to go through. regardless of whether the Yorubas that wants an election and those that still doesn't want an election, or the Biafrans that says they don't want to be part of Nigeria. But it seems Buhari is literally pushing as much as he can, so that he becomes the godfatherism, just as it has most actually happened, where somebody picks somebody. It is not just this happen most of the time, but it seems Buhari wants to decide who become the president. But we don't know his candidate. We have Osibajo there. Could it be Osibajo that he wants to lose and let the other aspirants, step down? Or could it be Amechi? Or could it be Tinubu? Or could it be Ahmed Lawan? But if the APC slot theirs to the north, there might be a danger, and we don't know what that danger might be.
Because already the PDP has selected theirs to the north, where we know that what do you call him? The PDP presidential candidate is. People are now trying to find ways and means to outwit him, though he has been selected. Okay, now let me leave it to you so that we can have a look at some of the other stories. Over to you, sir.
Well, quite a lot, happening when it comes to some of the headlines coming out of Nigeria. We're going to just quickly touch them as quickly as we can, but later on, like I said, at 1800 hours, we will have ample of time, to look at more other stories that are coming out of Nigeria. Let's go. Breaking APC member petition, the presidential committee. The APC member petition the presidential screening committee. And why is that? We do know that somebody like Ahmed Bola Tinubu has always got a mixed bag of different things around him when it comes to his qualification, his age. Remember that one of his campaign DG was asked that question, but he refused to answer that. Breaking APC member petition presidential screening committee seeks the disqualification of Tinubu over alleged age falsification and a Chicago University certificate. According to the story, Tinubu's academic qualification has been a subject of controversy for over a decade. A member of the ruling APC, All Progressive Congress, Sagi Mali Iyali, has asked the party's presidential screening committee to disqualify one of the aspirants, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, over alleged certificate and forgery. The petition was dated May 17, 2022, and was submitted just a day before, and on the May 30th, and as a receipt was acknowledged. So we will have to wait and see how that is going to play out. I'm going to look at some other story quickly, then we're going to come back to you as well. Also, Imo Governor Okorocha, we do know yesterday, he was in court, he's trying to get himself out, but with a bail condition to the tune of 500 million naira. That is a staggering amount of money. That is almost twice more than what, 4 times more than what he paid when he was he wanted to become the president, because each of them were paying up to the tune of 100 million. So for him to get his freedom, he would have to pay a gulf amount of 500 million with a shorty to the tune of the same amount. Ex-Imo State Governor Okorocha arrived at the venue of the ruling APC presidential screening a few hours after leaving detention. I'm not sure what is going to happen, but we do know that he still have the time, but whether he's going to be part of those that will be screened, but he has already left detention. That shows you that these individuals have this staggering amount of cash, whether secure somewhere in Nigeria or outside Nigeria. He was only given that opportunity to get a bail condition yesterday, and you can see that money is not their issue, especially for someone that has been a governor that has now got an allegation worth to the tune of 2.3 billion naira. A 500 million naira out of that wouldn't be a lot for him to say, I want to come out of that detention as quickly as possible. So he has arrived there as well. So I'm going to go straight and touch one or two more, because like I said, because of time constraint this morning. U.S. grant Adeosun Foundation non-profit tax exempt status. And likewise, Nigeria wants to imprison Kanu without trial. His lawyer right. We know that Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped and renditioned all the way back to Nigeria from Kenya. And since almost a year now, I mean, it's going to be almost a year that Nnamdi Kanu has been in Nigeria. The trial has become something to be concerned, because it seems the federal government of Nigeria does not really want to try him and just want to keep him in the prison. But according to the headline, Nigeria wants to imprison Nnamdi Kanu without a trial, according to his U.S. lawyer, Right the Ohaize. We have to see whether now that the APC will allow the presidential to be rotated to the north as against the PDP that have shown that they are not going to do so. Remember, the Ohaize believe that in as much as they might not agree with the Biafra movement, but they are not really happy when it comes to Nnamdi Kanu being kept in the DSS custody, because they also believe that that is creating the uncertainty, the instability in the southeast. A lot of time, you do hear that there's an unknown gunman, there's killings in the southeast. Again, that has got nothing to do with the IPOB. This is the machinery that the federal government has literally bought into Nigeria, and that has created the havoc. And the whole idea is to make the southeast ungovernable to those residents, where almost everybody is picked up and labeled as a member of the IPOB or the ESN, and that is something that we're going to talk about. Bruce Fem, the United States-based lawyer of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has written to the Ohaize Indigo. He warned the group not to sit on the legal fence, nothing that the Nigerian plans to imprison Kanu indefinitely without a trial. The letter that was dated yesterday, May 31st, 2022, was addressed to the President General of the Ohaize, George Obiazo, and made available to the newsmen by Kanu's special counsel, Aloy Ejimako. Remember that the last court appearance that Nnamdi Kanu should have had never took place, because for reason known to the federal government. So in the letter, Bruce Fem of the Bruce Fem law firm, Washington, D.C., exposed the alleged plans by the federal government to imprison Nnamdi Kanu. I'm going to come back again to you in the studio, because we might not be able to look at everything in details this morning at exactly 22 minutes past 11, the 1st of June, 2022. And again, I'll be giving us a timeline whether there will be an election or no election as the fight continue. The Ilana Omodua will be heading back to the court again tomorrow at Oshogbo, where they are still challenging the court, the 1999 validity of a military decree that both states that are meant to have an election in Ekiti and Osun State will not hold. And that means that in less than 54 days, 13 hours, 37 minutes, the second skips go down. Will there be election in Nigeria, or will there be an anarchist stage, as some of the social cultural group like Afenifere have said? You don't restructure Nigeria, expect the self-determination movement to continue to hit the ground.
Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. To all of you who are on the platform enjoying the program and keeping us company, we salute each and every one of you. As I say, especially in Nigeria or on the African continent, we know it costs you an arm and a leg, yet you are able there always to be supporting us, and we say thank you. We really appreciate that. But Yomi, let's touch on one other story, because I know that this evening you'll be touching on most of the stories. Now, when it comes to Atiku, now there's been a suit that has been filed against him yesterday in Abuja. An Abuja-based constitutional lawyer, Mr. Johnny Jediobi, he is the one who filed, saying, questioning the citizenship of Atiku. Do you know a bit about that? Where was he born?
Every single one of the Nigerian politicians have got one mixed bag or the other. So whether it's a fake certificate that they brought in, just as those that have committed criminal activities, like the governor of Ogun State, he's been given the same ticket back again. But there's there are so much on his plate, and sometimes what they've done is most of these politicians, they've actually continued to use their influence as the party protects them, whether indirectly or directly. But when this time now comes where more conversation is being asked, yes, I'm aware that Atiku also has a lot on his plate. Even his former boss, which is Obasanjo. Remember, Atiku and Obasanjo, ran for a very long time together. He says, and I quote that, the money in the hands of Atiku could feed millions for a long time. And and you wonder again, like Showore says, Atiku has been contesting as far back as when MK Abiola also contested some almost 30 years ago, and money has never been almost like nobody outspending. But also, there are a lot of information coming out now that says some of the delegates must have been given fake dollar in the hope of getting the original one.
That's quite an interesting one. Who do you go report that to?
That's the question. Who do you report that to? That you got a fake dollar while the PDP convention that I've just completed in Abuja, almost like everybody would just have to keep that fake dollar and probably have to spend it to somebody else, and it just shows the whole country, and there's a lot happening as we speak. But yes, I'm aware that there's a lot of there's a lawsuit against his citizenship, and what we mean by the citizenship is whether he's a truly Nigerian or someone from outside Nigeria.
Well, he is the only one who can tell us, isn't it? Because we don't have good records when it comes to Africa. Our records keeping are very, very poor. But listen, I say this Starr Radio UK. We'll go back to Yomi for what is happening on the social media platform and all the others, so that we can run up the updates. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, not much happening on the social media apart from those that are pushing for Peter Obi to become the president. But let's go into these. Let's go straight to Ilana Omo Odua on their Twitter handle. One of our elders, Pa Ademola Fatukasi, who was still vibrating in the WhatsApp platform yesterday evening, died last night. May so rest in peace. Pa Fatukasi was a veteran who truly believed in the struggle of the liberation of the freedom of the Yoruba people, and adieu, is so rest in perfect peace. Also, Ilana Omodua worldwide welcomes Yoruba people into the month of June 2022. Let's continue to spread the truth and honesty. Let's spread the fact and not sentiment. Let our foundation be built on sincerity of purpose. We wish you well in June 2022. Also, there is a video that is trending of a monkey that was displayed somewhere in London Bridge. We're going to have to investigate that, where this monkey, according to the user on the TikTok, was wondering why they have Yoruba names, and also the Yoruba names of Abeke and Bamidele. So that has been a kind of conversation among so many Yoruba, especially that the Yorubas now have been watching what we call the Bigger Than Africa, that literally explain who the Yorubas are until the British came in 1914 and prior to that, and destroyed almost everything that you can think of. So let's go out quickly. What are the things that are trending? Happy New Month, as you can expect, is about almost 98,000 tweets this morning. 100 million naira hashtag is trending, and I could tell that could link to Nigeria. I was watching a clip from a very comedian, Basket Mouth on his Twitter this morning, and he was asking the gentleman, let's listen, maybe we can get something out of it quickly.
You come late, too. Yeah, I come late. What make you come late like this? You chop content. But what make you come late? Well, this one there. Really thick. Spice up. Chop no more. Well, you don't tell us why you come late, too. Why you come late? Why I come late? You don't taste this egusi? No. This egusi don't get bad. So, are you serious? Yeah, eat now. Sure. Senator, never tell me why you come late. Don't talk. Taste this after. I will tell you after. Talk. Taste that. Man, it's sweet. You say you could tell me why you come late after the last food now. Not true. Taste this yam first. After that, I will tell you. Yam sweet. I'm dead. Wait now, you won't eat. Why you late? They don't ask me several times. So I will tell you, go give her food. And the problem is this: demand something from your government. It's a way you go to push to get your answer. They don't give you small distraction. We're happy. It's wrong now. Answer. Why you come late? Tell us. I don't give you this gizzard. You could test gizzard. Huh? Gizzard. Not for sure. I try now. Not like the tea waste. The gizzard of it. Aye. But now you just talk say we need the demand finish. Now you just say we need the demand the use for this. No, now wait. You don't even start and I'm not gonna change your word. I'll just stop from it.
So let me explain what has actually been said in that 1 minute 39 seconds. Nigerians have always demanded for something. We want something. We want something. But the moment the politician comes out and start giving their, guguru, the palm oil, the 1,000 naira, the 3,000 naira, as this election has become a money monger and everybody's so excited, everybody just keeps quiet. And instead of asking, pushing for their demands because of those T-shirt, the face cap, that they've asked. Everybody forgot that there's problem in Lagos about the expressway. There's traffic there. There's kidnapping. There's no water. There's no welfare. Everybody just keeps quiet. But rather than asking those demands, nobody's doing so. But when the politician eventually get the power back, that's if the power comes back, as a lot of Yorubas and the Biafra are saying they've had enough of being part of this contraction called Nigeria, and it is time now that we all wind it down peacefully, and that is the conversation on that. I'm going to come back again to you in the studio at exactly coming out to almost 11:30, the Wednesday edition, Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, for you, I will bring in the update to a close because he's going to be here this evening bringing you Niger Voices. So, Yomi, what are we looking at on Niger Voices today?
Well, what we're going to look at is what next after the 5 million petition from the Yorubas. What next is going to happen? Some are saying that nothing is going to happen, but the Yorubas, the leaders, are saying that a lot is still under the table that will be unveiled gradually, and it's like you don't peep into a wife that is coming into your home. You just have to wait. So in our language, King Ganu láti wo ìyàwó tá ń gbé bọ̀ nínú ilé. So you just have to be patient because that same wife is going to be with you for a very long time. So but that is going to be what we're going to be looking at. Should Tinubu not get the ticket on this APC, are we going to see a backlash between Tinubu and Buhari's camp? Remember, the reason why Buhari is there today, even though he's now making let me choose who I want, it was actually Tinubu that invested his time and energy and convinced millions of those, especially in the Southwest. Should he not clinch the ticket, which we're going to find out anytime soon, then what next? And the whole question is, election 2023 as against the self-determination that has now become as powerful, especially after the 5 million petition has been completed. But more people are now saying that I don't want to be left behind. I want to sign the petition, and those that have not signed are now more signing. And maybe in another 2 months, that petition could become 10 million.
Wow. Well, you want to have your say on that? Make sure that this evening exactly at 18 hours BST, you are with him. If you're in Nigeria, it's going to be 18 hours as well. 6 p.m. exactly, that program will kick off. But let me say thank you to BJ for also joining us and putting an emoji. Yes, is there a laughing emoji there? Okay, a good one there. Yummy, before you go.
Well, make sure you don't touch the dial. Stay tuned. Archie will be taking you through the rest of the program, but I'll be back later on at 1800 hours, which is exactly 6 p.m. local time. We're almost the same time now with Nigeria, and then that's about almost 6 hours from now, where we're going to be reviewing almost everything on Niger Voices, and I'll be expecting all our listeners to stay tuned when the time comes.
Thank you. Have a lovely day and catch up later.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Well, listeners, that was Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to exactly 11:34. Let's take a musical break and a quick one. Okay, a short one, and then we will continue with the show. Stay tuned and don't you go away. Which way Nigeria? Will they go for that election? I don't know. Do you know? Ha.
In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone. The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
Radio UK.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio.
Many years after independence, we still find it hard to start. How long shall we be patient before we reach the promised land? Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way, Nigeria? Which way? Which way, Nigeria? Tell me which way to go. I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Every little thing that goes wrong, we start to blame the government. We know everything that goes wrong because we are part of the government. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way, Nigeria? Which way? Which way, Nigeria? Tell me which way to go. Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Inefficiency and indiscipline is ruining the country now. Corruption here, there, and everywhere. Inflation is soaring high. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way, Nigeria? Which way, Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh, sure, sure. I want to know. Yes, I want to know which way Nigeria is heading.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Welcome back to the program. It's now gone 11:37. Let me open the lines. If you want to join in, we have just that brief time. By in the next 23 minutes, I will bring the program to a close. The first part of the program, and I'll take you to the Hollywood for the speakers. Prime Minister's question time there. Okay, first speaker's question time, and I'll put it that way. Okay. Now, Anthony Adedeji, massive good morning to you. I hope you are doing very, very well. Thank you very much for joining us as well. Now, let's look at some of the stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. As I did say, I hope that you've enjoyed all the stories that we touched on from Nigeria. Okay. But as Olayomi Koiki said, join him this evening exactly at 18 hours for the Niger Voices. Okay. Now, Dampare, who is the IGP, Inspector General of Police in Ghana, have reacted to a tweet by the British High Commissioner. Now, the question is, was there a need for that? And the other question is, the High Commissioner's tweet, does it rally Ghanaians to maybe to run to the street and misbehave? Or they are able to critique government in some things that they see that should not be? Or is it that they are just trying to, put their faces or put their noses into other people's affairs? Okay. Now, the British High Commissioner has reacted to the Inspector General of Police response to her tweet about the arrest of the #FixTheCountry convener, Oliver Barker-Vermawa. Now, Harriet Thompson says her tweet was harmless and does not have the capacity to tamper with the peace being enjoyed by citizens in the country. Now, speaking in Accra yesterday, she said she did not expect a response from the IGP at all. Now, Ghana is a peace-loving nation when people do have the right, to express themselves, where they do have the right to come and protest things that matter to them. A tweet like that is not going to be the thing that will get people onto the street, in my view. If I had thought that there was the remotest chance of that, I wouldn't be tweeting things like that at all. That is clearly not my intention, she said. Now, her response comes after the Ghana Police Service asked the British High Commissioner to Ghana, Harriet Thompson, to mind her own business so far as matters pertaining to the arrest of Oliver Barker-Vamao are concerned. Harriet Thompson, in a tweet on Tuesday, May 17, said she looks forward to seeing how the arrest of the convener of the #FixTheCountry movement will turn out. Now, Oliver Barker-Vamao, the convener of the Fix the Country movement, arrested again, I understand, for a motoring offense on his way to court. I'll be interested to see where this goes. That was the tweet. So, well, the IGP has reacted to it. However, the police, in a letter signed by the IGP, Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare, to the High Commissioner, said her tweet was from either a biased or uninformed position. Ordinarily, the Ghana Police Service will not have responded to comments such as yours, obviously made from either a biased or uninformed position. However, we have learned from a previous painful experience that it has not been helpful to ignore much misguided, unwarranted, and biased comments intended to tarnish the reputation of Ghana Police Service, and that our country. The letter also stated that the British High Commissioner's tweet violates Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations. So are they saying that he had no right to comment on what was going on in the country at all? What is more, we consider our tweet, your tweet, as a violation of Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations 1961, which enjoins diplomatic missions not to interfere in the internal affairs of their host country. So that means that the British High Commissioner in Nigeria cannot interfere in what is happening when it comes to maybe Chief Sunday Igboho or whatever unrest that seems to be going. They cannot actually say anything about it. They just have to be quiet and just be watching. Okay. Now, meanwhile, some Ghanaians have expressed their displeasure about the response from the police administration. The main opposition party in the country has also added its voice to the same, insisting the response was regrettable and unwarranted. Also, the gentleman at the center of the brawl, Oliver Barker-Vamao, has also described the country as a concert party as a result of the response. Well, what do you think? What do you think should happen on that front? It's quite an interesting one. I really want to know what you think on that front. But it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, but in relation to that story, a security analyst has made a statement saying that the IGP, it says that international security analyst Richard Gomado says government should have advised the IGP to ignore the tweet from the British High Commissioner to Ghana, Her Excellency Harriet Thompson, on Oliver Barker-Vamawa's road traffic arrest. The IGP in a rebuttal dated May 20, 2022 said the High Commissioner's tweet wanting to know how the arrest will end amounted to interference in the internal security matters of Ghana. According to the police, Madam Thompson's tweet was a violation of the Vienna Convention, which I've said already. But you could have let them go, not to have that is what the security expert is saying. You could have let them go, not to have a confrontation in such a manner. You have the right to let them go. I think years back, the Australian High Commissioner, the British High Commission, was making some statements some people were not comfortable with. If you want to travel on this path, then your backbone will need to be strengthened. And once you have a weak backbone, you start to have problems waking up in the morning, he said. So what do you think is going to happen? The security analyst further indicated that for any government to go on such a trajectory, then they must be well prepared. I was disappointed the letter was leaked, but I was worried Dampare signed it, Mr. Gamado added. However, the British High Commissioner in an interview has said that her tweet was not intended to incite Ghanaians to warrant such a response for the IGP. So come there, June 4, if there is a lot of protests there, what do you think is going to happen? Is it going to be because of that tweet? Or people have their own way or things that they will want to do? Well. Let me try to see whether I can bring that story your way before we leave Ghana, since we are pressed with time. Okay? Okay, Kwesi Enin has also responded to that as well. Let's hear what Kwesi Enin says. Director of the Faculty of Academic Affairs and Research at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center has defended the content of the Ghana Police Service letter to the British High Commissioner. Professor Kwesi Enin says the letter was well written and captured the grievances of the police administration. Wow. Now, speaking this morning, he said the letter is a good historical document that others must take a cue from. Wow. As a result, Professor Enin commended the Inspector General of the Ghana Police Service, Dr. George Kufu Dampare, for taking such a bold step. The IGP's letter to the British High Commissioner was well done and straight to the point, raising his concerns about the way the police is handling a particular issue that tangentially also affects others. Okay, that's quite an interesting one. The Ghana Police Service on Tuesday replied the British High Commissioner. Well, so the banter will continue and we'll see what comes out of that. But this is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, now Privileges Committee in Ghana have warned absentee MPs you could lose your seat. The leadership of the Privileges Committee of Parliament has warned 3 absentee members of Parliament that failure to honor their invitation will cost them their seat. The committee has been struggling to hold hearing after it was forced to abort its first day engagement with Ayawaso Central MP and Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Quartey. Now, Dome Kwabenya MP Sarah Joasafo, who was billed to appear before the committee, told the media she was unaware of any invitation by the committee. Now, Asin Central MP Kennedy Japan, who sought permission for medical review in the United States, has asked for an extension, even though, per the timetable, he was to appear before the committee today. Now, speaking, parliamentary correspondent said the ranking member of the Committee on Privileges, Kweku Rickett Hagen, disclosed circumstances have compelled the committee to ask for 1 extra week for the Speaker as the 2 weeks deadline expires this week. The Constitution is clear that if you absent yourself without approval, you lose your seat. It is very clear. So any honorable member who has nothing to say will have to resign and vacate the seats. That's all. But would that happen in Ghana? Interesting. We never see anything of that sort. But, well, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 12 minutes to the top of the hour. 12 o'clock exactly, we bring the program to a close and cross over to the PMQ. Now, okay, in other world stories as well, US have agreed to send Ukraine longer range missiles. And I asked myself the question, what would that amount to? Now that Ukraine seems to be, have been whipped pounds down. Now the US will send Ukraine more advanced rocket system to help it defend itself. President Biden has announced the weapons long requested by Ukraine are to help it strike enemy forces more precisely from a longer distance. Until now, the US had refused the request out of fear the weapons could be used against targets in Russia. Now, Moscow said it viewed the latest U.S. weapons package to Ukraine, including the new system, extremely negatively. Now, separately, the German government has also promised to send an air defense system to Ukraine. Now, Chancellor Olaf Scholz told MPs that the IRIST system was the most modern German possessed and would enable Ukraine to defend an entire city against Russia attacks. But my question is, why was this not given to them? Now that most of the cities have been destroyed, virtually, look at Mariupol, just wiped out. What's the point? Well, if I were Ukrainians, I would say that keep it. But well, they are there. They know exactly what is happening. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's have a quick break and let me have a sip of water, and then I'll bring the final segment of the show to you. So stay tuned and don't you go away. Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamb.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamb@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
Welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to just 9 minutes or less to the top of the hour, where we bring the program to a close. As I did say earlier on, because of the bank holidays and all the celebrations, we will not be bringing you live programs until Monday. But this evening, exactly at 18 hours BST, British Summer Time, or GMT +1. Yes, the Niger Voices will be taking place here right in the studio where Mr. Olayomi Koiki is going to be to present that program to you. So please make a date with him. Don't miss out on it. But this afternoon there's going to be loads of music taken over by our DJs. We call it More Music, Less Talk there. So make sure your dials are still logged on that so that you can enjoy that program. Okay, now let's move on to the final segment of the news that is making the rounds. Now, there is serious travel chaos in the UK. So those of you who are planning to travel short hauls, you might have to think twice. Make sure that you check that your flights are actually flying before you actually embark on getting to the airports, because it's horrendous what is going on there. Now, holiday makers are continuing to face disruption at airports with more than 150 flights cancelled. The story says that, airlines including EasyJet and TUI were among those to make cancellation. Although most customers will have been given advance notices, now there have also been long queues at terminals ahead of Jubilee weekend. The Transport Secretary said airlines and operators which are struggling with staff shortages had seriously oversold flights and holidays. Now EasyJet has cancelled at least. EasyJet have cancelled at least. Just bear with me. Okay, EasyJet has cancelled at least 31 flights at Gatwick to destinations including Bologna, Barcelona, Prague, Krakow, and Edinburgh. Last week, the airline said around 24 flights a day will be cancelled from the airport between 28 May and the 6th of June. Now, TUI Airways is also continuing to cancel 6 daily flights at the Manchester airport. at the Manchester airport. Okay. Representing a quarter of its schedule and affecting around 34,000 travelers. Now, the company said all customers affected had been contacted, but some people said that their flight had vanished from schedule and they had not heard from TUI. Well, that is what is happening on those fronts. But now let's move on to the final story, and then we will bring the program to a close. And this pertains to what is happening. Okay, a couple of them. Now, Zuma has been giving community service after attacking the cat. Let me bring you that one before we go to the final. West Ham United defender Kazuma has been ordered to carry out 180 hours of community service after he pleaded guilty to kicking and slapping his cat. The 27-year-old has also been banned from keeping cats for 5 years. He had admitted 2 offences under Animal Welfare Act at a hearing at the Thames Magistrate Court in May. Now, Zuma's brother John, who also plays for Dagenham and Redbridge, was ordered to carry out 140 hours of community service at the 15 minutes hearing. Okay, the case was brought following an RSPCA investigation. Yon admitted 1 count of aiding, abetting, counseling, and procuring his older brother to commit an offense. All right, then let's move on to the final story, as I did say, and that pertains to the Prime Minister. Now, Dominic Raab has dismissed claims Boris Johnson is about to face a leadership contest despite growing resignation calls from Tory MPs. The speculation is mounting that Mr. Johnson could soon face a no-confidence vote over widespread COVID rule breaking in Downing Street. But Deputy Prime Minister Mr. Raab said this was Westminster talking to itself. It comes as the Prime Minister's standards advisor called on him to say how his actions complied with ministerial rules. Lord Gate said Mr. Johnson had failed to publicly set out why his fine for breaking COVID rules did not also break the rules governing ministers' behavior, which say they must comply with the law. Breaking the ministerial code is normally seen as a resigning matter. So, will Bojo resign? As I've been saying all the time, he's got more than 9 lives. He's got 11 lives. So what do you think? It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 11:57. And this is where I bring the program to a close for today. But remember, as I said, Mr. Olayomi Koiki will be joining you exactly at 18 hours BST. So now we take a quick commercial break, and I'll take you straight across to Westminster or Holyrood. Stay tuned.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shipper.
More broadly, that is what we are doing. But let me reiterate here today that the government stands ready to do more to support people across the UK struggling with cost of living pressures. We will take action to ease these burdens where we can in the short term, while exercising responsible economic leadership to deliver the conditions we need to prepare the UK economy for the future.
Jarvis to wind up.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Twigg. I think this has been a very useful and timely debate, and I again want to thank Unison for the support that they provided and for the work that they do. I also want to thank honourable members for their contributions, and although minds have rightly been focused on the terrible time that many of our constituents are having with the cost of living crisis, the reality, as some honourable members have commented upon, is that what we're actually talking about is the grinding effects of poverty that many of us have known about for a very, very long time indeed. We've heard, I think, really important concerns in this debate about low pay, about pensions, about the poverty premium, about the reform of council tax, about a windfall tax, about the cost of parking, of mileage, housing, fuel costs and transport costs, and a number of other issues as well. And I think honourable members have made a significant amount of sensible and reasonable suggestions, and I very much hope that the Minister will think on them and that the Government will act at pace. She mentioned that she'd work with her officials to look specifically at the issue of NHS parking charges, and I'd be very grateful if she wrote to me with her conclusions following that piece of work that she said she's going to do. Finally, Mr. Chair, whilst the Government, of course, have a crucial role to play, I do want to take this opportunity very briefly to recognise the very important contribution being made by the charitable and voluntary sector, who, as they always do, have stepped up to support those who are in crisis. In particular, I just want to put on record my thanks to the wonderful British Heart Foundation shop in Barnsley, which I had the pleasure of visiting on Friday. The staff there and the staff in charity shops right around the country are doing amazing work during these very difficult times, providing brilliant service and good quality goods at an affordable price. We owe them a huge debt of gratitude. Thank you.
Is that this House has considered a fiscal approach to tackling rises in the cost of living. As many as of that opinion say aye, of the contrary no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Call Stephen Timms to move the motion, and I will then call the Minister to respond. There will not be an opportunity for the member in charge to wind up, as this is the convention for 30-minute debates. Order, order. Stephen Timms to move the motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Twigg, and I'm very pleased to be serving under your chairmanship this afternoon. This time last year, India had a devastating COVID surge. By the 6th of May, the country had recorded over 400,000 cases. Oxfam India, which was founded in India by the British Oxfam charity, provided urgent supplies and support. It worked with India's health departments, district administrations and local organisations. Staff set up oxygen plants, provided ventilators, delivered food to vulnerable communities. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was amongst those who praised the response of civil society organisations to the pandemic, and Oxfam India played a key part in that response. And yet in January this year, the charity received some very bad news. The renewal of its Foreign Contribution Regulation Act licence had been refused, decision apparently made last December. The result is that Oxfam India is no longer able to receive funds from abroad. Its annual income will fall from around 15 million euros to 2.1 million. At least 11 of its 15 development projects will close. Its former reach of over 1.5 million people, mainly Dalits, indigenous populations, minorities, women and girls, will be drastically cut, and no explanation for this decision has been given. Charities and NGOs in receipt of foreign funding in India must be registered under the 2010 Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, the FCRA. That regulates how foreign funding can be received. Charities and NGOs now need to operate through a designated FCAR account at the State Bank of India's main branch in Delhi. According to Christian Solidarity Worldwide, local human rights monitoring groups say the purpose of this is to supervise and monitor NGOs' activity. The Act now gives the government huge powers to inquire into what NGOs are doing, each time putting their work on hold until the inquiry is complete. Give way to the gentleman.
Congratulate the Honourable Gentleman for Right Honourable Member for East Ham for securing this debate. Just to remind, on the 6th of January this year, members highlighted another charity, Missionaries of Charity. They were reinstated some days after the debate. But the Honourable Gentleman, it's just not Oxfam, it's Greenpeace, it's Compassion, and also a number of the NGOs are Christian heritage, and several thousand have also a Muslim background. And 250 Hindu NGOs have been closed as well, because they're anti-government. But would the member for East Ham agree with me this is an early warning bell of increased human rights abuses in India, only harms India's poorest, as a symptom of the continuing pressure from Hindu nationalism?
Yeah, I think the Honourable Gentleman is absolutely right about that. It does seem clear that the FCRA is being used to make life difficult for organisations which from time to time may be critical of the government. In 2016, a commission appointed by the UN Human Rights Council called for the repeal of the Act. But in 2020, it was tightened up even further on the grounds of bringing greater accountability. Of course, what is happening to NGOs is part of a wider pattern in India. We all grew up thinking of India as the greatest democracy on the planet. The briefing for this debate from the All-Party Parliamentary Group on Human Rights is absolutely right to refer to, quote, India's rich tradition and constitutional status as a secular democracy. I remember vividly. Yes, I'll give way to my honourable friend.
I thank the member for giving way. I was simply stunned when the reputable organisation Amnesty was forced to close its office in India too. The suffocation of minority rights and the lack of freedom of expression has also been illustrated by the ongoing conflict in Kashmir, the farmers' protest, and the persecution of minorities, which you have mentioned, including the Christians and the Dalits. Now, right today, Muhammad Yasin Malik and other Hurriyat leaders have been sentenced for life, and their only crime is wanting freedom from Indian illegal occupation. So do you agree, the Honourable agree with this, that the Parliamentary Group on Human Rights, that India is a diminishing democracy?
Well, I do agree with him. The situation is very worrying. I remember vividly the pride of Muslim constituents with roots in India in their home country when I was first elected. But that's all drastically changed. There have been new laws to make things difficult, specifically for Muslim citizens. Our Prime Minister's state visit to India last month took place against a backdrop of inter-religious violence in Delhi and the demolition of Muslim-owned buildings. The Christian charity Open Doors, which launches its watch list every year in Parliament, now designates India as the 10th worst country in the world in which to be a Christian It's been sliding down other indices as well. It's ranked 150 out of 180 countries in the latest World Press Freedom Index. Freedom House ranked India as only partly free in its Freedom of the World Report this year edition, noting that, quote, the Constitution guarantees civil liberties, including freedom of expression and freedom of religion, but harassment of journalists, NGOs and other government critics has increased significantly. The Economist Intelligence Unit, in its latest Democracy Index, categorises India as, quote, a flawed democracy. And Civitas, the Johannesburg headquartered Global Civil Society Alliance, categorises Indian civil society as, quote, repressed, which is the second worst category in their ranking, having been downgraded in 2019. Now, no one of those indices proves there is a problem, but the overall message they all convey is unmistakable. The 2020 changes to the FCRA have effectively banned NGOs from research, advocacy, campaigning. They've also created new bureaucratic and practical hurdles, a ban on NGOs transferring to other NGOs, transferring funds, other restrictions on funds distribution, a cap on administrative costs, delays from the necessity of additional form filling. It is claimed that all of this is to strengthen transparency and accountability, but it's fairly clear the government is targeting charities and non-profits that question its policy. So I really want to ask the Minister if she will urge the Indian authorities to review carefully the FCRA for compliance with international human rights standards and to suspend aspects of the law that do restrict charities from providing urgently needed relief. The Centre for Promotion of Social Concerns is a prominent human rights organisation in India. It lost its licence under the FCRA in 2016. The Ministry of Home Affairs said this was on the basis of a field agency report. The group challenged the decision in the High Court, and in its evidence to the court, the Ministry complained that the organisation used foreign funding to pass information to United Nations special rapporteurs and to foreign embassies, and that this was, quote, portraying India's human rights record in negative light to the detriment of India's image, close quote, and that such acts were, quote again, undesirable activities detrimental to national interest. My honourable friend is right to draw attention to Amnesty International being forced to put an end to its COVID support. The head of Amnesty International India said at the time, even if you're working on COVID, the law makes it very difficult for you to be able to even accept foreign aid coming in without being in violation of the law. As he said, Greenpeace has lost its licence. The Ford Foundation has been suspended, and NGOs from other overseas countries are telling their own governments how hard this is making things for them. The case of Oxfam that I started with, Oxfam's been sending help to India since 1951. Oxfam India became a fully Indian organisation in 2008. It is today one of India's largest NGOs, providing food, shelter, clothing, medicine, medical equipment. It was reaching over 1.5 million people, but now it's lost its FCRA licence. That number is going to be drastically reduced. They applied to renew the licence on the 1st of April last year in good time. It appears that the application was rejected on the 15th of December, although they've received no official communication from the Indian government about that decision. It can now only take resources from within India. Its income was previously made up by 75% by foreign aid. A lot of staff are going to lose their jobs, and crucial humanitarian and social work has ended. In 5 years after the current Indian government took office in 2014, over 14,000 NGOs have been barred from accessing foreign funding, seemingly mainly to hamper criticism of government policies. Nearly 6,000 didn't have their FCRA licences renewed last year. One very notable organisation affected, as the Honourable Member has pointed out in his earlier intervention, was the Missionaries of Charity. founded by Mother Teresa. They were blocked from accessing international funding on the grounds of, quote, adverse inputs, but nobody knows what adverse inputs means or what the problem with Mother Teresa's charity was thought to be. As he's rightly said, that decision has been reversed. So that does at least suggest that external pressure can help deliver renewal of an FCRA licence. Oxfam India applied well before the deadline. There have been no reasons for the refusal, simply a statement that the decision had been taken in the, quote, public interest. And one of the problems is that the FCRA definition of activities prejudicial to the public interest is extremely vague. And I wonder if the Minister will seek from the Indian government an explanation about why Oxfam India's activities are regarded as, quote, not in the public interest. Oxfam India has now filed a petition to the Indian government for a final administrative review. There's as yet been no response. On the 10th of February, the Permanent Secretary to the Home Office, Sir Matthew Rycroft, raised this issue with his counterpart at the Indian Home Ministry. In response to a written question that I asked about this on the 17th of May, the Home Office Minister said, and I quote, "The Permanent Secretary addressed the difficulties that some NGOs in India have faced due to enforcement of the FCRA, which is impacting both on the work we are funding and the work of UK headquartered global NGOs in India." And I very much welcome the Permanent Secretary's intervention on this, but the Indian government, as I understand it, has given no assurances at all about whether these cases will be reviewed. There's clearly a lot more to do. The Home Office Minister answering my question said that the UK continues to, quote, monitor developments related to the FCRA, especially impacts on UK government-funded programmes in India and the work of British NGOs in India, but I think we do need more than monitoring. I'm sure the Minister will agree with me about the negative impact of the FCRA. I do ask now that ministers should press the Indian authorities to review that legislation, lift some of these restrictions, and press for greater transparency of FCRA licence determination. Just want to finish, Mr. Twigg, with the words of Amitabh Bahar, the Chief Executive of Oxfam India, whom I met on a recent Zoom seminar about what's happening in India. He said this to the BBC, quote, "The Minister of Home Affairs' decision to deny renewal of FCRA registration will severely hamper collaborations which were providing relief to those who needed it most during times of crisis." I do hope the Minister will be able to reassure us that Her Majesty's Government recognises the crucial importance of this issue and that the influence of her department will be brought to bear to promote freedom of expression, even where it at times makes governments uncomfortable.
The question is that this House has considered the impact of India's foreign contribution law on NGOs. Minister, just before you start, if it's helpful, the debate needs to finish by 16:43. If you take all that time, it's a matter for you. Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Twigg. Fortunately, I did write down the time we started, so I had an eye to what time I needed to be sat down as well. So first of all, it's a real pleasure to be serving under your chairmanship this afternoon, and I'd like to thank the Right Honourable Member for securing this debate, and also to honourable members who've also contributed. It's always a pleasure to see the member for Strangford. I think we've been in this chamber several times over the last couple of days, and also a pleasure to see the member for Manchester Gorton in his place too. And I just wanted to, and I hope I will address some of the points that have been raised this afternoon. I think it's important to start off that, this government firmly believes that a vibrant civil society is central to any democracy. NGOs and civil society in the UK and overseas make huge contributions by holding governments to account, by promoting respect for human rights. The government supports and works with a wide range of NGO partners through our programmes around the world, including in India. India is the world's largest democracy, has a proud democratic tradition and a history of inclusive government. And as with all democracies, we look to work with the Government of India to uphold its democratic values, norms and principles. Turning to the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, India's, or otherwise known as SCRA for the benefit of brevity, this regulates how NGOs and other civil society organisations can receive foreign funding for their programmes and activities in India. The versions actually of this legislation have been in force since 1976. It was amended by the previous Government of India in 2010 and by the current Government of India in 2020. Any NGO that now receives foreign funding now needs to apply for FCRA registration, for a FCRA registration number and renew its registration every 5 years. Since the FCRA was last amended, a number of NGOs have had their applications to renew foreign funding licences rejected. I'll come on to talk about the number of cases in a moment. And that it does include organisations with whom we work directly. This has had a significant impact on their ability to operate. Now, while some organisations, as already mentioned by honourable members, such as Missionaries of Charity, have succeeded in having their registration restored, others have not. The UK's strong and growing partnership with the Government of India enables us to discuss concerns where we have them. We continue to believe that NGOs make a vital and positive contribution to society. And as with all countries, we will always welcome more progress on these issues. Through the British High Commission in New Delhi, we monitor developments relating to the SCRA. In particular, we look out for any impacts on UK government-funded programmes and the work of British NGOs in India. We talk to the NGOs affected and we encourage them to seek recourse, including through the Indian courts where it's appropriate. We have also raised their cases with the Indian government directly at ministerial and also senior official levels. This includes the issues faced by Oxfam India, the recent cancellation of the foreign funding licence of the Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative, whose headquarters are in Delhi, and the freezing of Amnesty International's India's bank accounts. And as mentioned by the Right Honourable Gentleman, in February, the Home Office Permanent Secretary raised difficulties facing Oxfam India with his Indian counterpart during our Home Affairs dialogue.
Very quickly.
I will happily give.
I thank the Minister for giving way, and indeed it has been a week where we've been in debates regularly, as the Minister knows. Minister, the figures are 12,580 NGOs had their licences revoked, almost epidemic proportions. I'm just wondering, has the Minister had a chance to maybe oversee that number of all the organisations that have been there? And if so, I don't expect an answer today, but do you know that there's a programme of trying to address all of these, the 12,580 NGOs who had their licences revoked?
I'm very grateful to the Honourable Gentleman for his intervention. And I'd say the Honourable Gentleman is passionate on so many different issues, and particularly where it comes to defending freedom of religion or belief. And in terms of the specific numbers he's referring to, I think what I would say is we do raise the cases with the Government of India directly, but I would happily kind of pick up following this. I can write to the members afterwards.
Can I just ask, I welcome the intervention of the Home Office Permanent Secretary. Can she just tell us that the case of Oxfam India has been taken up by ministers, and indeed perhaps by the Prime Minister when he visited very recently?
So in terms of the case of Oxfam India, what I can say is that the British High Commissioner to India met with the CEO of Oxfam India on the 14th of January to understand their concerns and to also offer support. And as I said, this was discussed by the Home Office Permanent Secretary during the Home Affairs dialogue in February as well. And just turning to Amnesty, you do remain in contact with Amnesty and officials last met Amnesty International UK on the 4th of May this year. As well as financial regulations, we know that some NGOs and civil society activists have faced difficulties in India as a result of security legislation. We've also raised this issue with the Government of India. Our relationship with India is very important and is central to our foreign policy tilt towards the Indo-Pacific. Our 1.6 million strong diaspora community provides a unique living bridge of people, commerce, ideas and culture between our countries. A year ago, the UK and Indian governments committed to strengthen our relationship through the new Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. And our Prime Ministers, I will give way to the
I thank the Minister for giving way on this matter, and there is no doubt the importance of our good, strong relationship with the Indian government. But, like I mentioned earlier on, we have seen even today that Muhammad Yassin Malik and other Hurriyat leaders been given life sentence for a very basic thing, which is having freedom. And it's India who's occupying that. So what do we, as a good friends of India, should we not be reaching out and telling them to obey the UN resolutions? Minister.
So I think there's a couple of points I want to make on this. I think one important thing is that, no aspect of our strong relationship with India prevents us from speaking frankly about issues with them. In terms of that particular case he refers to, we are monitoring the trial, and we note that he has been charged under Indian law, and we can't intervene in the independent judicial process of another country. But we do urge all countries to respect and uphold their international obligations regarding the treatment of detainees. But it is important to note that it's important that we have these strong relationships, and it does enable us to have kind of a meaningful dialogue and having and speaking frankly where necessary. Also, I think the other thing about our relationship with it does support regional and global security and prosperity. And a year into the roadmap, we have made excellent progress. And as has been mentioned, the Prime Minister visited India last month to build on this further. And the Prime Minister and Prime Minister Modi discussed the need for democracies to work closely together. I said in terms of kind of regional global security, they reiterated their commitment to transform defence and security relations and to enhance cooperation in support of a free, open and secure Indo-Pacific. Lots of other areas of importance in terms of joint work, in terms of research and development, will deliver next-generation capabilities across land, sea, air, space and cyber. And the Prime Minister also announced a raft of commercial agreements to boost our trade, investment and technology partnership. And during the visit, the UK and Indian businesses confirmed more than £1 billion in new investments and export deals in sectors from software engineering to health, creating almost 11,000 jobs here in the UK. And our Prime Minister has also set a target to conclude the majority of talks on the comprehensive and balanced free trade agreement by the end of October 2022, a deal which could supercharge our trading relationship and boost jobs and wages here in the UK. Moreover, the Prime Ministers underlined their firm commitment to taking ambitious action on climate change, cooperating closely to deliver on the Glasgow Pact. The visit reflected the breadth and depth of our relationship and how it continues to deliver for the people of both countries. But to conclude,
I'm grateful to have us setting out the increasingly close nature of the relationship. Can she assure us that ministers will make representations to the Indian authorities about the position of Oxfam India in order that it can continue to obtain income from outside the country?
As I said, in a number of these different cases, please be reassured that they are raised both by kind of senior officials and also ministers. And I think I wanted to just say, to conclude actually, we do continue to monitor and raise the difficulties faced by some NGOs in India. We also continue to support Indian civil society and NGOs through programmes and the endorsement that comes from our relationship with them. Our relationship with India as democracies and as friends is important and will continue to grow. It's a partnership with the potential to deliver huge benefits for the people of both of our countries and beyond.
The question is that this House has considered the impact of India's foreign contribution law on NGOs. As many as of that opinion say aye. Of the contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Order, order.
Until 1911, the House of Lords had in theory equal power with the Commons. But the Parliament Act of 1911 imposed for the very first time statutory limitations of law on the upper house. The Lords lost entirely their power to amend or reject money bills, and over non-money bills they were restricted to a power of delay for 3 parliamentary sessions, reduced to 2 by Attlee's Labour government in 1949. The only absolute veto the Lords retained was over a bill to extend the life of Parliament beyond 5 years. That, of course, was to ensure that a government could not subvert the Constitution by using its Commons majority to delay an election. The Act was needed because the then Liberal government believed that the Lords had broken with convention by rejecting Lloyd George's 1909 People's Budget. That proposed radical increases in direct and indirect taxation, as well as new taxes on land to pay for the relief of poverty. To make poverty, in Lloyd George's words, as remote to the people of this country as the wolves which once infested its forests. The budget infuriated the Conservative opposition, heavily outnumbered in the Commons but with a large majority in the Lords, and they rejected it by 350 votes to just 75. The Lords had become not the watchdog of the Constitution, but in Lloyd George's words, Mr. Balfour's poodle, Balfour being the Conservative leader at the time. The Conservatives countered that because the budget was doing more than simply raising revenue, the traditional conventions did not apply. The government said the Lords' action was a breach of the Constitution and a usurpation of the rights of the Commons, since the unelected chamber was denying it necessary revenue. The conflict could be settled only by the people, and in 1910, 2 general elections confirmed the Liberals in power. The Lords, of course, were not happy to see their powers curtailed, but the government threatened if they rejected the Parliament Bill, sufficient new peers would be created to overcome their opposition. Faced with this threat, the Lords gave way. The consequences of the Parliament Act were profound. While the Lords could ask the government of the day to think again, they could no longer prevent a determined government from getting its way. Some see this as a triumph for democracy. Others argue it left Britain dangerously open to what has been called an elective dictatorship. The argument continues. The Parliament Act shows that if long-standing conventions are broken, they will come to be embodied in law. Suppose the Queen were to refuse assent to government legislation. That would be lawful, but by convention no sovereign has refused assent since the time of Queen Anne in the early 18th century. Were the Queen to refuse assent today, the government would almost certainly enact legislation putting the convention into law. Conventions embody the morality of the Constitution. If that morality is flouted, they will be enacted into law.
I will call Jonathan Goulis to move the motion, and I will then call the Minister to respond. There will not be an opportunity for the member in charge to wind up, as is the convention for 30-minute debates. Order, order. Jonathan Goulis to move the motion.
Thank you, Dame Angela. It's a pleasure to serve under your chairship, and I beg to move that this House has considered the potential merits of a video games enterprise zone in Stoke-on-Trent. I'm delighted to be joined by my fellow Stoke-on-Trent members of Parliament here today for this debate, as well as the Minister in her place to respond, although she may feel like she's drawn the short straw in dealing with the combined might of the Stoke Mafia. In 2019, during the historic election campaign,